Finding somebody to go make, this is the guy that I know I can count on. He's one of the most well-respected individuals in the fitness world, but he's one of those well-respected people in the business world too. He has transcended from fitness to business, and his story is phenomenal. I don't know what he's going to talk about. I hope he does mention a little bit about his past, because I think that's why he's so humble. I think that's why he's such a great guy. And so he's going to share with you about 15 to 20 minutes. Then we'll take a quick break. Then I'll come up and wrap up the entire day. Ladies and gentlemen, my dear friend, my brother, Mr. Larry North.
It's my life, it's now or never.
That's it. Hey, everybody. What a nice welcoming. John, that was wonderful, but I do have to talk to you about all those donuts and fast food. We're going to have a little talk a little bit later on about that. Just kidding. No, Logan, he wanted me to talk on humility. The thing is about Logan, and I'm so happy to do stuff for him, especially to a great audience, but it's funny because to me, to know Logan, he's like my favorite audience. Like he's an audience of one, so I always want to come up with new information that he's maybe never heard before. But I got to tell you, something happened yesterday. I'm at home and I get a phone call from my CFO. Hey, Amy, how you doing? She goes, we're having a flood at the gym. I go, okay, well, there's, scale from 1 to 10, a 10, 1, a droplet, a 10 that it's like really pouring in. Like, how bad is it? It's 9. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I canceled all my appointments, and my wife, if you don't know Brenda, she meditates every day. She teaches guided meditation. She's very esoteric. She does Kundalini yoga. She just has such a positive spin. So I hang up the phone. I go, did you hear that? I go, we have a huge flood at the gym. And then they send me the pictures. I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, it's pretty bad. So I got to go to the gym, and I'm going out the door. You know what Brenda says? She goes, do you know what this represents? I go, it represents I'm having a flood. She goes, no, it's water. It represents prosperity and abundance. And this is such a good sign. I'm like, okay. And wait, I get to the gym though. So her meditations are obviously having some effect on me, because I do get to the gym, and I think the staff was prepared for me to be very reactionary. And I just look around, I'm like, this is pretty bad. And they're looking at me, they're wondering why I'm staying so calm. I'm like, it's a flood. It's better than a fire. We can fix it. That's what we do. Let's get the vaccine. And long moral to the story, we're open today for business, but it was pretty bad. One of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, my material's pretty raw and pretty basic. I always have known that I'm not the smartest kid in class. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I wanted to be successful ever since I was a little kid. I didn't have a huge role model in my father. He was... my grandfather was murdered when my dad was a baby, and my dad went from privileged, upper side of Manhattan to Brooklyn, and pretty much a Brooklyn mobster, never worked a day in his life other than driving a cab towards the end of his life. And I just wanted more in life. But I've had some different attitudes. I subscribe to a very basic recipe. I'm the first to work. I'm the last to leave. I volunteer for anything and everything. I'm persistent and I persevere. And if I just sort of wrap myself around those little messages, I'm going to be successful regardless of my chosen field or what I chose to do. The other thing is, if you pay me $2, I guarantee I'll give you $5 worth of work. My culture is simple. The first thing that you hear in our culture when you come to work for me is what Logan said. Happy to do it. Happy to do it. We're happy to do it, or my pleasure. I want to take you back a little bit in time. So this is about 1983, 84. For some of you that are even close to my age, you might remember where I worked. It was Monopoly's nightclub. It was a pretty popular club at the time. And so I'm working at Monopoly's, and they're open till 4 in the morning, because we were after hours club on the weekends. But I'm also in the gym early. I was the 4 a.m. guy. I'm in the gym, I'm working out. I sold shoes in the daytime, and then I'd head to Monopoly's to be a bouncer, floor man, doorman. And I would volunteer for the 4 o'clock shift because no one else wanted it. And I'd make an extra $30, $40. But in order to get out, of that nightclub, which it's 4 in the morning. I want to get out of here. I'd have to help the cleaning crew because if I don't help them, if I help them, we get out faster, right? So I'm in the bathroom grabbing a mop, and I'm actually helping clean this bathroom. Now, can you imagine how disgusting a bathroom is at a nightclub that's open till 4 in the morning? I'm mopping, but I roll my sleeves up. Listen, it's just time to get out. You just mop the floor, right? You just do it. I'm mopping the floor, and who do you think walks in? The owner, managing partner. He's counting the cash. He's got to count the cash. He's got to go to the bathroom. He's going to leave. I said, hey, Ross Todd. I've got the mop in my hand. Ross Todd, how you doing, Mr. Todd? He looks at me, he says, hey, Larry, good job tonight. I said, thank you. I said, we had a good crowd. We made some money, right? I said, by the way, Mr. Todd, I just want to thank you. He goes, for what? For giving me the greatest job I've ever had in my life. He looks at me. He's like, you're mopping up whatever you're mopping up. and it's like he doesn't believe me. And he walks out. So here's what's interesting. I'll get to this story in a minute, but remember what I just told you. Thank you, Mr. Todd, for the best job I've ever had in my life. Fast forward 4 years down the road. Unfortunately, my mom, Beverly, she's just about to celebrate her 85th birthday. She's healthy, she's happy, but at that time she wasn't. She had breast cancer, she had the treatments, she had the surgeries, and she went out to the West Coast to be with her sister because her sister was better prepared to take care of her than I was. But my brother Adam, he's a twin, he's 16, and Alan went with my mother. Alan's going to be with mom, and I had to take care of Adam. I was very ill-equipped to be a father of a teenager at that point, but I took on the responsibility. We lived in a not-so-nice neighborhood, in a not-so-nice apartment, but it was a 2-bedroom. And the only furniture we had in that not-so-nice apartment was a mattress in each bedroom. Not a bed, but a mattress. And one day, I come jogging, and I'm not a cardio guy, but I'm jogging up the steps. And I go into the apartment, and I have documents in my hand. And I've got a new piece of furniture downstairs. I said, Adam, you know what this is? This is a lease for a business. I'm going to do a gym in the Highland Park Village. My brother looks at me. He's not even hearing or comprehending. I said, but come on downstairs. I got a piece of furniture for our apartment. You got to help me carry it up. It's a treadmill. So wait. So he helps me carry the treadmill. I said, Adam looks at me. He goes, big brother, Larry. It's emotional. I get emotional because it's the end of the day, and I had a flood in my gym. So he says, Larry, how are you going to do a gym? With what money? I said, Adam, I'm going to tell you right now, it doesn't matter, because never let lack of funds keep you from pursuing your dreams. I'll see you a little bit later. I got to take care of some things. I come back a few hours later. Adam has positioned the treadmill in line with his bathroom mirror. He's jogging in nothing but tighty-whities. I go, what are you doing? He goes, big brother, if you're going to open up a gym, I got to lose some weight. And he literally, seriously, in 90 days, he lost 35 pounds. But that night, I said, come on, we're going to have a talk. We sit on the floor. God, I must have too much estrogen along with my testosterone. But have you seen my Biote commercials? I think they didn't pellet me properly or something. So we sit down on the floor. I said, Adam, I'm going to need your help. You help me live my dream, and I will help you live yours. But first, you got to tell me what's your dream, Adam. He looks at me with so matter-of-factly, like he didn't even stop and think about it. He goes, big brother, my goal is to travel around the world. I want to retire at 35, and I want to live the good life. He had it so defined. I'm not kidding. Travel around the world, retire at 35, and live the good life. So every one of us in this room, if you haven't had it, you're going to have it. You might have it more than once. You're laying on your bed, and in my case, the mattress, and I'm looking up at a white ceiling. And I'm asking myself, what have I just done? I just committed to a lease for 10 years with 2 5-year options. Whew. Guess tomorrow I better open up a bank account. No, I'm serious. I had to go to the bank. I have to figure this out. I didn't even have a bank account. I'm not kidding, it's a true story. So I left in my car, which was an unusual car. It required oil, water, and gas at the same time you got gas. Had a sort of a shaky sunroof, but it's pouring down rain and I'm in traffic. And I don't know about you, I'm just like a little freaky when I'm late. I don't like being late, and I'm late. So I'm a little, I'm back then, remember, I'm in my 20s. I'm much more zen-like now. But so I go, and I'm traffic, and I'm right at the corner of Abrams and LBJ, and I realize why there's traffic. There's been a car accident. It's Adam, my brother, and the car's totaled. And I see Adam, he's like walking around like he like got hit on the head. I pull over and say, Adam, babe, we'll get the car towed. Just come with me. Just come with me. Get in the car. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Gets in the car. Now we're driving. And recently, it's rained pretty badly, right? Imagine worse. The rain is coming down. I'm on Greenville, headed to Central to go to what used to be North Park Bank. That's my appointment. The rain is coming down so hard you could barely see in front of you. Don't ask me how this happened, but my sunroof, it broke on my side, not on Adam's. I had on the only suit I owned, and I'm completely drenched. Adam says the water was coming down, he could stick his finger in it like a waterfall. So he goes, God, this is crazy, brother. I'm so wet, and I'm so, at this point, upset. I'm like, my brother just totaled his car. I'm on my way to the bank. I'm late. I'm soaking wet, the only suit I own. And I did something really crazy. I put my foot on the brakes, and the car slid and spun. I'm in the middle of the intersection right there at Forest and Greenville. And I get out. My brother knew what was about to happen because he's probably seen it once before. And I'm literally looking up at the sky, and I'm screaming. I'm at the top of my lungs, and I'm asking, why are you doing this to me? What is the test that I have to go through? Because there were other things too. I'm just telling you the superficial things that are sort of funny and some aren't. But there was a test there. There was a test. I knew I was being tested, but I didn't understand why. I understand now, but I didn't understand then. So I'm literally sloshing up to the steps in my suit. Here's what's interesting. I got the gym open. This will shock you. Logan's never heard this because I've never told this. My first official employee was the wife of Ross Todd, Nancy Todd, who worked in the nightclub. And we loved Nancy. All the bouncers had a crush on Nancy. She was beautiful and sexy, and she was the owner's wife. She worked for me. She was my first employee. So this is like 6, 7 years later, and I'm still in my 20s. And Mr. Todd comes into our office. He goes, hey, Larry, how you doing? And he was pleased and proud of the fact that his bouncer ends up owning a gym in the Highland Park Village. And he looks at me, and he goes, I got to tell you, Larry, you're so full of... I go, why would you say that right in front of your wife? He goes, because I remember a story. You're cleaning up slop in the bathroom, and you're telling me it's the best job you've ever had and thanking me for it. I said, Ross, I was not BSing you. He goes, come on, you were. I go, no, I wasn't. Because Ross, let me tell you why it was the best job I ever had. And I'm serious, and his wife's like quiet and listening to me. I said, because Ross, every single job I've ever had in my life was the best job I had at that moment in my life because that was a job that I needed to pay my bills. And I've always had that philosophy of every job I've ever had, and I love hearing about culture. But how about the culture that's in your heart? How about the deep appreciation that you can have for someone that actually has to go through the pain and triumph of starting a business with nothing, not even a bank account? Because we never know the backstory of every entrepreneur that's in this room, or every executive, or every CEO. So I just take this massive approach that I have a job. I love and by the way, I love every job. I've got a lot of jobs right now. Work for a private equity firm. I work for the #1 tax recovery company on the planet. I've been with BioT for years now. I just raised money for a wonderful laser company, and I'm working with them. Gosh, the list goes on. And in my own company, I'm an employee. I get paid for my own company. I'm an employee to my own company. And I will tell you that I love working at my company. We're a happy to do it culture. If I could leave you with one cultural thing before I finish, it's this: it's happy to do it. So let me explain what it is, and you can just take it. Just take this happy to do it message. By the way, I didn't invent it. It came from a preacher from the 1940s. Baptist minister came up with happy to do it. I did not. So what it's like this. So if you have a happy to do it culture, means, example, hey, John, Susan can't teach the 7 o'clock class. Can you stay and teach? Happy to do it. Hey, Mark, someone's client canceled. Can you stay late and train? Happy to do it. Hey, Amy, can you please put out that report? I've got to have it. Happy to do it. Now remember though, it has to be happy to do it with enthusiasm. Can't be, oh, happy to do it. It's got to be happy to do it. Happy to do it. Happy to do it. And I repeat this cultural phrase so often that probably people get a little bit tired of it. Now, here's the thing. So one day, Brenda, my esoteric meditative wife, she says, I've got to compliment you. I go to your gym and everyone's happy to do it. It's such a great, I love this, happy to do it. Do t-shirts, happy to do it. But she goes, but why can't you be like that at home? Oh. Okay, I gotcha. So it was really like, wow, that sort of hit me out of nowhere. So I said, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna be happy to do it. She goes, good, could you vacuum? Yeah, happy to do it. And she goes, dishes, happy to do it. Laundry, happy. I mean, literally, I'm burning calories. That's the way I looked at it. It's now my new job. I love my new job. And I'm happy to do it. I'm happy to do it. But see, Logan talked about something earlier in that nice introduction. I am happy to do it. But see, here's the thing. I learned this from Darwin Deason. And he's not a physics scientist, and I don't know much about physics, but the most powerful law in the world is what? Gravity. Law of gravity, you can't argue that. But the law of reciprocity is right behind it. You do something for someone, they're probably going to be more likely to do something for you. You help someone with their career, they're probably going to love you for the rest of their life. So I'm doing this happy to do it around the house, and she goes and runs an errand. It's nighttime. Okay. I light some candles. I play some good music. Barry White. I know she's coming home soon, so I'm looking for my robe. I can't find one, so I just put on hers. It was so awful looking. So I'm like, have high expectations because of happy to do it culture. And no, I'm serious. It's true. She comes in, she had worked out. She's like, comes in with like a bag of junk, and she looks at me, and I'm like, to my surprise, she said, happy to do it. Now wait. Half the audience is male, and I need to tell you guys, just because you do the vacuuming tonight doesn't mean you're going to get a happy to do it. So you might have to go a little extra mile. That's all I'm saying. So here's it, and it's but I know I'm joking around, but I really mean this. if you could get in the habit of just naturally saying happy to do it, even in your personal life, even in your personal, imagine if you're just a significant other, or brothers, sisters, friends, family, associates, just naturally said happy, even if they joke about it, in request, how the reciprocity of that happy to do it culture can be just, it could be life-changing for people. And so I just, again, I subscribe to some very simple, basic philosophies and rules that just apply to me. One thing I have to tell you, it was really nice seeing Mr. Stout. I saw Ron Stout back there. Give him a hand, by the way. And he just reached over and he said, hey, I just want you to know I was at Richland College and I saw your picture on the wall. It's a wall of honor. I never even graduated there. I went there 9 years, but I was, but I never graduated. So listen to this though. So I get a call from Coach Neal, who is he's still there. He's been there for 40 some odd years. He's a gem, a precious human being. He called me last year. He said, hey, Larry, you're being considered for the Wall of Honor at Richland. Richland's the #2 community college in the country, and this is a big deal. We only put 2 or 3 candidates up there on the wall, and he goes, you know what, I want to nominate you. I go, man, Coach, thank you so much. I'd be very flattered. And then the president of the school called me about a month or 2 later and said, hey, Larry, I just want you to know we're going to put you on the wall, and it's a big deal, and we do a big event, and and I was like really tough. It was much more emotional than for everybody. There were 2 other people nominated, and my daughter who's about to have a baby any moment, and then Brandon, a little boy named Mateo Martinez. And I told his dad, I said, when I grab him and take him out, he'll be dressed like you. When I return him, he'll be dressed like me. Just so you know. So I go to Richland. So we go to Richland, and there's 150 people there. I didn't realize it was such a big deal, but what was sort of funny to me, they introduced the first man. He was from Nigeria, and they go through his 4.0 GPA, got his master's, got a PhD, 4.0, and now he's teaching at Richland. The next girl was from Colombia, and she came here as an immigrant, and she had a 4.0, like a 4.2, I think. Got her master's, double master's, and everyone claps, and then they get to me, and they go, and here's Larry. So I'll end it on that. Here's Larry. Thank you very much, you guys.